Hey, it's your girl Barbie J here. Did you see that? Sistas Season 2 Episode 4, Trying to Stay Open. Oh, this episode was explosive from the beginning. I enjoyed it. It probably was the best part of the episode. But before we start, I just want to say, please excuse the mess behind me. I have no place to record now. I'm having work done, so I had to go in my little craft room, and you know the craft room is full of craft, so there's stuff everywhere. Anyway, so let me just keep going. All right, so you know Zach. It starts off with Zach. He's getting a ride from Fatima to the Preston Jubilee Hotel, and he's just like all this attitude, and they're going back and forth and stuff, and she's trying to find out, why are you going to this hotel? That's an expensive hotel, bro. And he's like, don't worry, I know people. She said, yeah, but you can't be staying there. How could you afford to stay there when you riding a bike to the meeting? And I cracked up. I was like, okay, score on him. And he was just so upset about it, and she's like, you're insane. And she defined what insanity was, and he got upset about that. I know what it is. I know. I mean, he was in such a bad mood because all he could think about is Karen is in that room with Aaron. That's all that probably was on his mind, but Fatima didn't know that, and he was just so funky from beginning to end. And then he had the nerve to say, oh, that's a nice car she's driving. Someone's really taking good care of you. Excuse me? She took offense. I took offense. You know, I take offense when people think women can't get their own stuff. And she was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get you out of my freaking car. You know, because you up in here insulting me. I paid for my own car. And I was like, you tell him, girl. She's like, I paid for my own. You up in here with that little shitty attitude. I don't need this stuff. She was like, you know, and everything she said, he kept saying, I know. She's reminding him, don't get into any trouble. This is such a good opportunity. You don't want to mess this up. They don't take any repeat offenders. She was just reminding him of stuff. And see, that must have been a spirit on her to remind him, because he went to do something stupid. And so when she dropped him off, the last thing she said was, don't get into any trouble. He's like, I know. But then he did apologize for his attitude. But he had mentioned to her that he think his girl is seeing somebody else. And I'm like, bro, I'm still confused that what's going through his mind when he's been cheating on Karen. I don't get it. But anyway, so Zach apologized. Fatima gives him her number and said, call me if you need anything. You just met him. Call you if you need anything? You know, anything? Come on now. You can give me a call, you know, if I can help you out with this whole program we in. With the program we doing. Not anything, Fatima. Anyway, so Zach gets in the hotel. He goes up to the room just in time where room service is coming with the flowers and the the champagne, right? And he's trying to get the room service to let him in. The room service is like, I can't do that. He's like, but it's for Karen, right? He's like, yeah, I sent it. He's like, yeah, but I can't do that. You're going to have to get yourself in. So he's knocking on the door. They don't answer. They in there, get it on. I could not believe it. I was like, God. It was like, I was sitting there going like this. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Aaron was all up in between Karen's legs. I said, ooh, daddy. It was hot. It was hot. Look, I'm still just thinking about it. I gotta do some more. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so the man left because nobody answered the door. The room service. He left. Here comes Zach. How Zach got tools to pick a lock? And how you gonna pick a hotel lock? I thought it was a card key. Hello? Isn't it a card key? So how he picking a lock? I don't know what he did. If he would have pulled out a credit card and tried to jimmy jam it, I would have thought something. But he pulled out looked like tools. Anyway, he busts in there and see homeboy all between Karen's legs. His face is all in there. And he goes, and push him off the bed. And I said, what the hell? First of all, you've been cheating on Karen. Second of all, Karen said we ain't together no damn more. You knew they wasn't together, and you knew she was seeing this dude. You think she's supposed to be getting tapped? Why she can't get none? But you messing with Officer this, and you looking at Fatima butt asking if she would see somebody. Come on, Zach. Come on. Guys, you men, sometimes y'all a trip. I don't understand it. Anyway, they get in the room, and it's like, what? And it's like a tussle, and Karen's trying to break them up, and thank God she still had on part of her clothes. She wasn't butt naked. And I'm like, what the hell? How is he so jealous? How is he can't possibly be jealous. It's okay for him to cheat on her, but nobody else can have her. So Karen is like, Aaron is yelling like, get out of my room, and he wants to do something, and Karen's stopping them. She don't want them to fight. She still got, I think because she still got some feelings for Zach, but she was stopping Aaron from snatching his ass up and throwing him out the room. You know, I'm like, at that point, security comes, and security's like, is everything okay in here? And Karen looked like she was going to say, yes, everything's cool. And Aaron's like, no, ain't nothing cool. He picked the lock and broke in here and blah, blah, blah. And they said, yeah, we saw it on the camera. Turn around and up against the wall. And Karen's like, wait. And they like, no, and he didn't want to turn around. And they got him up against the wall, handcuffed him and arrested his butt. Had him in jail. And what happened? He run into that sister girl, that police officer in prison. And she's like, what the freak are you doing here? And he didn't want to tell her what he did. And that's when she found out what, you know, what he had been doing. I was like, Zach is ridiculous. That didn't even make any kind of sense for him to do that. It really didn't. So Karen runs out. Karen runs out and said, this is some bullshit. It sounded like that's what she said. She runs out and leaves the room. And Aaron's trying to stop her and keep her there. He's like, please, talk to me. Talk to me. Let me know what's going on. She don't want to hear it. She's upset. She leaves. He said, what are you going to do? You going to run and bail him out? She's like, what do you care if I'm going to bail him out? What do you care? And I'm sitting there going, why would she say that? She know that man like her. He was about to set it off up in there between her legs. Oh, Lord. Anyway, that was the best part of the episode, if you ask me. That was good. It was so much like oomph going on. Anyway, next, Sabrina. Sabrina wakes up Andi, and Andi's laying in bed all depressed and upset, and she's giving her this pep talk about why she can't stay in bed. Oh, even if you're tired or you're hurt or you're angry, you got to get up and go get your job. And she's like, my job? She said, well, go get your career. Whatever it is, go get it. You can't be sitting here around in bed, you know. And so she said, well, I don't even have any clothes, you know. I don't have anything to wear. And Sabrina goes, you can wear some of my stuff. First of all, I'm looking at Sabrina like, y'all not even the same size. But then I guess Andi's looking at Sabrina like, we don't even have the same style. Just like, she's an attorney, I'm sure. So here, she a good friend. She's like, here's my credit card, and you can use it. And the funny part was she looked at the card and said, I don't think this card has a large enough limit for what I buy. You know, I'm like, oh, snap. I was like, I know people like that who got cards that can. They got cards that can. I ain't like that. My cards cover anything. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about the show. So next thing you know, Andi's just taking all of Sabrina's cards. She just take all of them. Just say, give me all of the cards. And she takes all her cards to go shopping. So Sabrina says she has to go to her job to find out she still have a job. Because now she has to go and talk to her managers or whatever. And they want to sit down and talk to her. So she's like wishing her luck. What else? Then, who is it? Oh, Danni and Preston. Danni wakes up and finds herself handcuffed to the bed, which is what she did to Preston. You know, she didn't want him to leave and stuff. But he thought he was getting her back, and he didn't realize how the way he was doing, what he was saying, how it made it seem. And she was like, this ain't funny. I got to piss, you know, or something like that. And he said, oh, I got that covered. I got that covered. And he comes with a pot. And she said, what? This ain't funny. Let me go. He said, now you got a pot to piss in. And I thought that was hilarious. You know how they always say to people, she ain't even have a pot to piss in, or he ain't had a pot to piss in, blah, blah, blah. And I thought that was a good play on words. And she's letting him know what he's doing is almost like racist or something. Because one, he's got a handcuff, right? She's naked. And he's like, want her to beg. She was like, this is some racist shit. You want me to beg, and you up to gal, this and gal. And it sound like, she's like, what are we playing? Slave play? What is this? You know, she was pissed. He could see from her face she was pissed. That's why he had to let her out of it. He's like, what did I do wrong? She was like, unlock me now. And he's like, what did I do wrong? And she's like, this is some ignorance. You ignorant. I'm naked. You got a stupid hat. You got me handcuffed, calling me gal. What is it? And she said, and you come from a racist family? Do I have to keep explaining to you how this look? I said, white men don't mess with no black woman if you don't know the rules. You don't know the rules. There's certain rules in black families and stuff. You got to understand what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot touch, like a woman's weed. Don't be touching it. Don't do it. You can't do it. Ah, Lord Jesus. And she went in the bathroom. He let her go. She went in the bathroom, slammed the door. When she's still talking, she came out, he was gone. So he jetted. You know. He apologized, though, before he left. He apologized and cut out. Then they showed the salon. And here's Pam walking in to find Karen sleeping on the couch. Why, Karen, are you sleeping on the couch in the salon? Why didn't you go your behind home? Even though, what's his name said, it's not cleaned up. Aaron said it's not cleaned up. He would have cleaned it for her. No, I got it. I do it myself. Blah, blah, blah. Girl, please. Anyway, she's sleeping in her dress in the salon. And Pam comes in. And she's like, what you doing here? Didn't you and Zach have a good time last night? And she was like, me and Zach. Because she remembered that she thought they went out together. And she said, I know he sent you flowers and champagne. And she's like, how you know that? Or something like that. And he said, because he's romantic. She's like, no, he not. No, he not. She said, what did you do? Did you do something? She said, I kind of told him that you mentioned you was there. I was trying to help, but he got to pay me back. And she's like, I was trying to help. And she's like, help? She's like, how did you even... She said, how did you know where I was? She said, you know, I saw that car key. She said, from that glimpse, you saw what? She said, I saw the name of the hotel and the room number. She said, you was just too nosy. You need to stop. And she told her what happened. She's like, you caused a big problem. For your information, I wasn't with Zach. I was with Aaron. And she's like, oh, you nasty. And she's like, they got into a fight and it was ridiculous, you know. She was like, you need to mind your business. She told her, you need to mind your business and just get back to work. Then we go to, let's see, what else happened? Oh, Calvin. Calvin was at the club decorating, and there was this white guy. I guess he's a gay guy. And he kept giving condolences and bothering Calvin and asking questions and not knowing what to say. And Calvin's like, leave me alone. And he's like, ooh, you just like so, got an attitude or something. You're moody or something. Anyway, that's when Sabrina shows up, and she offers her help with the decorating for the party and stuff. And he's like, I thought you'd be at work, you know. And she's like, no, I'm on my way now. I have a meeting. And the white guy is going, ooh, girlfriend, don't mess with him. He's in a mood. He's a moody. You don't be asking him too many questions. He said, she can ask me questions. You can't. He's like, he was so annoying. And at this moment, she's talking. In comes Maurice looking fabulous as ever. I love that shirt he had on. It was hot, you know. I have several gay friends that I love to get that outfit for. They would love that. Anyway, he said, I knew you bitches was trying to kill me. Y'all thought I was going to die. Y'all thought I was dying. I could tell. She said, why are you here? They like, why are you here? This was a surprise for you. He's like, I knew y'all was up to something no good and stuff. She said, it was a surprise. He said, and when I come back tonight, I'll be surprised. I love Maurice. Maurice is going to be one of my favorite characters. I thought Zach was going to be, but Zach is starting to get on my nerve. But between Maurice and, was it Danny? I like them so far. Anyway, what else happens? He asked who's coming to the party, and he's like, oh, they were like, all the people who love you and stuff. He said, well, all the people who love me, we would need a stadium. This ain't big enough. This ain't big enough. And then he tells, she leaves, Sabrina leaves to go to work, and he tells Calvin, there ain't enough feathers and glitter up in here. He said, and I needed you to, like, fly in some cherry blossoms from Asia. And he's doing all of this stuff and bothering Calvin, and it goes off to the next scene. But I was like, all right now. He know what he want. He know what he like. What else? What else happened? Let's see. There was, oh, they showed Gary. Okay. Is it me? Put it down in the chat. Is it me? Or is that a new Hayden? That is not the Hayden that was on last episode. I thought Hayden was a dark-skinned brother. I'm like, who is this dude? And he's seeing Gary at the precinct, and he's talking to Gary. And he's telling him that Andi sent him. Andi sent me to help you. And, what else is going? And he said, Andi is adamant that you're innocent. That's what he was saying. She's adamant that you're innocent and stuff. And he's like, I am. They set me up. And he's like, do you have any proof? He's trying to get proof out of him. And, you know, he goes, Hayden, Gary says, you know, yeah, she's an amazing woman. She's an amazing woman. And Gary's like, Hayden's like, yeah, I noticed that, you know. And he's like, what? What was that? Now, I didn't notice about Gary. Gary's very jealous and stuff. So, like I said, I'm just starting to watch this. So, Gary's very jealous. And he's questioning the dude, well, when did you meet her? And he's like, oh, we work at the same firm and stuff. You know, I've never spoken to her till last night. For how long? Oh, a few hours. Really? And what did y'all talk about? You? He said, oh. And what, I'm like, he's like, dude, you got something you want to say to me? He's like, I'm here to help you. You got something you want to say? He said, nah, I ain't got nothing you want to say. But he said his business manager was working on something, you know, to help Andi. And he's like, well, what is it? And he's like, he didn't want to tell him. So I knew that was going to be an issue. So it went off from there. But why? This Hayden doesn't look bad either. This Hayden's good looking as well. But I wonder why they switch Haydens on us. Or am I confusing somebody? Somebody please put that down in the chat, because I think that was a different Hayden. Then they go back to Zach is in jail, and that female police officer is there with him and stuff, and she's laughing like, what the freak are you doing here? And he said, I need to get bail. And she's like, what did you do? She said, oh, she asked him, did he see the judge? Yeah, I saw the judge. What did you do? He didn't want to tell her. She figured it out. She looked it up. Criminal trespassing and resisting arrest. I said, he done messed himself up for getting in that thing. And that's what Fatima told him. That was the first thing he told him. So she's like, how he gonna get his $5,000 bail? And she said, you got somebody you want me to call? And then he pulled out a number with a female's number. She's like, all these females, you know, you trying to hit her, hit that. And this is what you're going through now. Anyway, he calls Fatima. And Fatima's like at work, like, what? You got arrested. See, I told you, you know. He don't listen to nobody. He had to do it his way. She's like, well, I can't help you right now. You know, I'm at work. And he's like, can you call Chris? And she's like, we finally know this guy's name. I didn't know his name was Chris. I was trying to figure out that guy who was doing the program with the ex-cons. So she said, you don't want to call Chris? You don't want to call Chris? So she said she'll get back to him later after work, you know. And he's like, okay, fine. And she said, how much is your bail? He's like, $5,000 cash. She's like, what? She's like, man, please. And the police officer's yelling stuff. He want your check. He want your last check. She yelling into the phone. And she's like, I had to talk to you later. And she hung up. And what else was going on? Oh, the police officer told him he need to find some new friends with money. He need to get his own money. Not find friends with money. Get his own money. Get himself out. So Fatima's like, that fool done lost his mind. And while she's there, that's when Hayden comes in. And Hayden comes in the office, and he said he saw Gary and he's an asshole. He called Gary an asshole. He said he didn't like him. But she's like, can you still help Andi? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to try to do what I can and stuff. So basically, that was that. Oh, she got a delivery. She got the delivery of a box. And she opens the box, and it's a box full of cash. And at that time when she saw it, she's like, oh my God. She didn't say nothing to anybody. But then Andi came in. And Andi, you know, she said, you got a delivery from Gary. She said, I don't want it. Whatever it is, I don't want it. She said, you sure you don't want it? She said, I don't want it. I don't want it. She said, okay, good. Can I have it? Yeah. She said, good, because it's a box full of money. She said, money? Now here's the dumb part. You look in there and see there's a whole lot of money. Why are you pulling them out? Why are you pulling out handfuls of money? For what purpose? Money. She pulling out money and roll stacks and stuff. For what purpose are you pulling out money in the office after you just had the FBI up in there? That scene didn't make no sense. She could have just looked in there and saw it. Tyler Perry, hello, Tyler. Let's make some common sense. I was giving you kudos for the script, but when you do something like that, that's dumb. Especially that part with showing what's his name picking a lock when it's a card key. So let's get this script writing together. Get some new writers, do something. Anyway, so Andi comes in there with this dress on with the slit up to the thigh, which I did not feel was office appropriate. That seemed like evening wear to me. I could be wrong, but that's what it seemed like. And so she goes in there to see Bellamy. She tells Fatima to watch her money, don't touch it. Fatima, leave it up on the desk. Why you leave a box full of money open up on the desk? Put it down under the desk, damn it. What is wrong with these people? The script writing and directing is working my nerves right now, this section. Anyway, so what else happened? Oh, so she goes in there to see Bellamy. They're talking. And he's telling her what went down or what happened. He's giving her little bits and pieces, even though she figured it out. She done played Sherlock Holmes and figured some of it out. And she's talking about you, Jasmine, Lores, and Morris. Now, I don't remember who Lores is, but I said, okay, they're all in on this, and you want to sue the firm and then get the insurance money and split the settlement and all this. I was like, what is going on? And she got him to talk and stuff. And as he was telling stuff, she said she was going to go to the board and the insurance company and tell them on him. And she said she was going to get him fired. And what else? She said she was going to get him fired or something like that. Oh, he was going to lose his job and go to jail. And he was telling her she could sue for discrimination and get $1 million. The firm would pay and da da da. And she was like, I wasn't trying to do that. But then she walked out his office, man. He said, where you going? Where you going? And she ran and busted in the office to the this other manager. I guess he was the big boss. I guess he was Bellamy's boss. And she interrupts his meeting. And I think Hayden was in that meeting as well with 2 other people. And she said, I'm sorry, excuse me, and started explaining what was happening. And when he was trying to lie, she put the tape down out of her pocket and let it play the recorder. And he told her to sit down, and he told Bellamy to sit down. And she started telling part of her story, how she had proof and the FBI confiscated all the stuff. And so he said, but just your boyfriend was laundering money and something. She's like, no. She said, well, I don't have proof, but they set me up. And he was like, you're gonna believe everything she said? She was gonna sue the firm for discrimination. And she said, do you want me to play the rest of that damn tape? You want me to play the rest of it? And he's like, yeah, right, do you want me? And the man, I'm gonna call him the CEO. I don't know who he was, but the CEO was like, yeah, play the rest of it. Play the rest of it. I'm like, this dude. But that was smart that she had it taped, but I thought it was dumb for her to bust in that meeting like that. You know, but she did. Okay. And now they're going to look it up and find out. He's going to call the FBI and see what's going. He told Bellamy to take some days off. But then Bellamy probably going to call on other people so to try to get this straightened out. And as Andi walked out of there, she was, her nerves, she was so like, oh my God, she was so shaken. She just cried in Fatima's arms and stuff. I felt so bad because I guess it's all the, what is it called? That your energy, your anxiety and stuff, and all of that, like things she might be saving her job. I guess she's overwhelmed and it was just all pouring out of her. I know that feeling. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her, but I'm hoping things gonna work out. I can't wait to see next week and see what goes down, who gets out of, does what's his name get out of prison, jail, does who is it, do Karen and Aaron get back together, did Sabrina lose her job? Because Sabrina did say, call somebody and said they got her training somebody. You know, when you training somebody, I had a job and I was training somebody, and when I went on vacation, my boss was telling them an opening was gonna happen. And guess what I did when I came back from vacation? That fool had changed my card key and all my passwords and everything. And you know what I did? I went into his boss's office and everybody else in that office who he talked bad about, and I dropped dime on him. I said, and this was a black man. Treat me like that. We the only few handful of blacks in the office for no good reason. Anyway, he was a cheating man because he had a wife and he was cheating with somebody in the office. That's all. That was on him, trifling. Anyhow, it's not about me. So that's what happened. I will see you. It's Barbie J checking out. I'll see you next week. Leave information down, comments in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel. Share my video. What else? Share, subscribe. Oh, like, thumbs up, baby. Give me my thumbs up. And I'll see you next week. Peace.